Hi, this is Chris, Video Game Dust Sleeves, and you're listening to the VGDS podcast with Bones06,
How's it going, everybody?
DanCavDragon,
Hey, how's it going?
DizzyTheGamerJit,
Yeah, brother.
and guest gamer JoshXZeroify.
What's going on, gentlemen?
First segment, as always, sleeve it or leave it. First game is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons: Eye of the Beholder. Bones, sleeve it or leave it.
Ooh, this is a tough one. I don't have great memories of the game, but the box art I do. So because of that, I think I'm gonna sleeve that.
Dan,
Yeah, I'd probably sleeve this game, AD&D.
Dizzy,
Oh man, same here. Just because of the box art, I'd sleeve it. Like, even if I didn't know that was a Dungeon and Dragons game, without the title, just without a title, the cover art sells it. I would sleeve that. Yeah.
and Josh.
Oh yeah, I definitely sleeve it. I've played all the D&D games, and I live with a person who D&Ds all like every freaking Sunday. So I have experience. I would totally sleeve this. I wish I owned this. I remember playing this way back in the day, though. Barely. I think it was a one-shot rental for me, so it's a sleeve.
Yeah, believe it or not, I didn't even know this was an Dungeon and Dragons game. I looked it up as Eye of the Beholder and just saw the box art. I didn't realize it was a Dungeons and Dragons game until I looked closer at the box art.
Oh yeah,
And
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Because it's, you look at the font on the cover, it's like Dungeons and Dragons is really small.
yeah.
Eye of the Beholder, it's like, we don't want to associate with that devil game.
Yeah.
But it's that devil game.
Yeah,
Right?
you're right. You could
Yep.
barely see the Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. All right, next title, The Incredible Hulk. Dizzy, sleeve it or leave it.
I've never played it, but just because of the Incredible Hulk, and it looks pretty cool. Yeah, I would sleeve that.
Dan,
Yeah, I mean, I've never played this either, but I would assume a Hulk game would be pretty cool, so I'd probably sleeve it.
Bones,
I'm not feeling compelled to sleeve it, so I'm gonna pass.
Josh,
I'm going to have to join the divide, but I have played this game. But I would be leaving it out of a sleeve if I had it. Its controls are kind of wonky. It's like, it wants to be a good game, but somebody at the end kind of just rushed it out. So I would leave it.
next title, Rax Ronin, Experimental Surgeon. Josh, sleeve it or leave
Leave it.
it.
I have no experience with it, so I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to sleep a game. It could be rare or something, but I haven't no experience with it. So I'm just going to go with a leave.
Dan,
Yeah, I have to say, I've never really heard of this game, but I'm assuming it is going to be rare and expensive. So if that's the case, I would probably have to sleeve it.
Dizzy,
It sounds like a rap song. Rex Ronan, Experimental Surgeon. For that alone, yeah, I'd sleeve it.
Bones,
Nah, I'm gonna go with Josh on this one, and I'm not sleeving that.
I was actually surprised when I looked at this title. I was like, really? This is a Super NES game?
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
I haven't either.
I haven't.
That's why I put it on here. I'm trying to give you games that you never heard of.
Yeah.
All right, last title, Pinocchio. Actually, this is only for the Super NES, which is kind of surprising. Bones,
Oh man, you put me on the spot first. Okay. No.
Josh,
Oh, I would sleeve it. I'd sleeve it because I have fond memories of it. I rented that a lot with my siblings back in the day.
Dizzy.
So it's a sleeve.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah, it's a sleeve.
It's a sleeve.
Dizzy.
I actually love Disney SNES games. They're not always the easiest. And I've never played this one, so I'm actually going to look into that one right now. But yeah, I would sleeve that. Even the front looks good. The cover art looks good. But yeah, I would sleeve that.
And Dan.
Yeah, I don't have much memories of this game either. Pinocchio is not one of my more favorite movies, so I would leave this game probably.
Probably. Until you figure out later it's like worth $200, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Podcast pickup.
Yeah. Here we go. Dan's already at it.
Rex Ronan, here we go.
Yeah, you're right. Anything I could put on here that Dan doesn't have, he's searching for it already.
Rex Ronan.
Yeah. By the end of this podcast, Rex Ronan will be in his arsenal. All right, on to the next thing. Guess that box art. Dizzy, you got to guess for the first one.
It looks like Hook, but that doesn't look like Peter Pan in the corner.
You
so
got it, dude. You got it.
No, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Hook.
That doesn't look like Peter Pan. Who the hell is that kid?
It's Hook for the Super NES.
So
I
it's
mean,
supposed to be Robin Williams.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. That don't look like Robin Williams. They tried.
Yeah, they tried, but they failed. The next one's probably like an obvious for the 90s kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but what system? That's the real question.
Could only be
So-
two.
Dan, since you're the oldest one in here, any guesses?
I know what this is.
Oh,
This-
you
this
do
card-
actually know what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Oh, is it Rocco's Modern Life?
Yes, it is.
What console?
Super.
Yeah, I was gonna guess Super Nintendo.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't trust that last part because, you know, the answer got like immediately given before you could speak. I'm not giving Brownie point on that last part.
I know the characters, but I couldn't have told you the game.
Well, if you want to know the whole title of the game, it's technically not just Rocco's Modern Life. I'm trying to remember what the whole name of the game is. I'm actually looking it up right now. Hold on. It's Rocco's Modern Life, Spunky's Dangerous Day.
Funky.
Yep, Spunky's the dog.
I never watched the show though. Did anybody watch the show?
Yeah.
Oh, always.
This was
That
before
Nickelodeon.
this is before the generation odd G rating. Let's half-ass draw cartoons days. And excuse my foul language there.
Hey, it's all good. We're not family friendly, so you
Well,
should
I
hear
was
some
put-
of the stuff that's said in here.
I've heard, but I'm like I said when you asked me, I'll try to be professional, and that wasn't professional of me.
I mean, that cartoon wasn't really family friendly once
No,
you
not
watched
really.
it. Once you went back.
Yeah, but you also had that generation of parents that actually tried to make sure you knew the difference between things. Like, if you point a gun at somebody, it's not going to bring them back if you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
They don't get back up.
Yeah.
And you should know not to smoke, kids. That should be a give me. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they probably had that in the cartoon too.
Oh, they probably had a lot of... Oh, no. Yeah, they did. The boss from where Rocco worked, kind of blocked
Oh,
comic,
yeah.
he smoked.
You're right.
Cigar and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate sleaze.
All right, Bones.
Okay, on to the next
Yeah, I
part.
watched a lot of TV back in the day.
This month's logo sleeve is our guest gamer Josh's logo sleeve. If anybody would like to purchase one of these sleeves, you can just contact Chris. And he can do any style. So if you need NES, Sega, whatever you need, he can do that logo sleeve. Josh, we'd like to know, what game would you like to see people put into your dust sleeve for your logo sleeve? What's a good game?
Oh, that's a tough one. Let's see. And I have a couple of these myself. I have currently my childhood copy of Legend of Zelda 2. I have Star Tropics. I play a lot of RPGs. So any RPG game from the NES era, go for it. You have my blessing. Just don't, whatever you do, do not just take the game, forget to de-sleeve the game you're reselling or trading and put it out into the wild. Because I don't need those nasty messages to my digital graveyard going, "Did you sell a sleeve and break the contract?" I'm like, I didn't know that. One, didn't know there was a contract. Two, no, I'm not on that part of the map, so we're good. This is between me, whoever you sold it to. I'm just the middleman at this point.
Josh's sleeve is worldwide.
Yes, Josh's sleeve ended up in a retro store in Massachusetts somehow.
and we do not know who picked it up or if it's still there.
I'm hoping somebody picked it up, and if somebody did pick it up, please use it.
Yeah, if not, please contact us here.
Yes, please.
Or
I
on my channel.
I would like to buy Josh's sleeve back.
Let us know. I feel like now we have to dig up Robert Stacks and like do an unsolved mysteries missing person like episode. You can help solve a video game dust sleeve mystery.
8-bit, if you're listening, please go to the retro store and see if it's still there. If it's still there, I will buy it. Just
April
pick it up for
23rd, 2022.
If you have any information leading to the reseller, please let us know, and maybe you could solve a missing dust sleeve mystery.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Next thing you know, we're gonna have video game dust sleeve milk cartons with a picture of that on the back.
Have you seen this sleeve?
But no, I remembered that because somebody I forget what I was doing. I was coming in with some groceries, and I forget, somebody messaged me saying you were wanting to ask me something on that, and I was like, okay. Usually he's pretty direct when he wants to reach me for something. Let's see what's up. And there it was. Send me a link to the conversation. I'm like, no, I'm not on Massachusetts, so that wasn't me. Better make sure, because this guy's been pretty cool. I got a pretty good deal going here on merch. I don't need to make him mad where he's like, you don't get anything now. I'm like,
No, I would never be like that.
Your sleeve has been discontinued.
Yeah. No more Josh sleeve, sorry. Nah, I was just curious on how it ended up in a retro store, that's all.
Well, I'll tell you that story another day from what I could dig up on that. So I'm not that guy who's going to out people.
Right.
Well, I could be, but I don't want that kind of heat.
Nope. And we don't want it on here either, so. All right.
Fair enough.
On that note, Dan.
Oh, okay. So this is Franchise of the Month. This is a series that we have been talking about in previous podcasts, and it came up several times, especially during our like we're talking about greatest hits and Red Label versus
Hold
Green
on,
Label.
let me stop you
What?
right there, Dan, before you go any farther. Bandana,
Yep.
he's going to want me to say this. Why isn't there any greatest hits in here?
Yep, there is no green labels in there. You purposely left them out on Double D Hype.
Didn't you?
Man.
Hey, in a previous podcast, I did a Red Label version of a franchise.
Yeah, he doesn't care about Red Label. He only cares about
Talking
green.
about green, not red.
Okay. This would have been a good one to do the green labels because most of these games do have greatest hits versions. But, anyways, Franchise of the Month is Twisted Metal. This is a series we've talked about many times, and I thought this would be finally good to actually feature it for real. So, tell me if you've played the series, if you're a fan of it, and what I'm really curious is which is the best installment of the series. So
Good luck with that.
I'll start first by saying I have never really played any of the Twisted Metal, so so I'm gonna pass and let you guys take it away.
Whoa, whoa, hit the brakes. I need a brake sound effect. Somebody go for it.
Nope.
Good enough. That's what a brake sounds like, folks.
That's right. Hit the note pedal.
It's next to the brake pedal. Somewhere between the gas.
Yes, that is.
How do you slide by introducing a series and all of that and go, I have nothing to say about this?
Well,
let's all right, hold up. Let's put it this way. There's been plenty of times that we've done series like this and nobody's played the game, so
no, I mean,
fair.
Yeah, I mean,
like there's been plenty of games plenty of franchises that he's done that I had little to nothing to say about. So
you always have something to say about it. I don't like that creepy clown. Why is that creepy clown there?
Yeah.
That scared me away.
Well, put it this
Has
way,
it-
I was never a huge fan of this series. Put it that way.
There you go. There
play,
you go.
I did play it, but never enough to compel me to buy any of the games. But because everybody was talking very fondly about this series, I thought we should feature it. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, let's start with Bones at the top and take it away. Like, what's your impressions of the series, and definitely include which one is the best.
Bones just played these games too. Some of them.
Well, Dan just bought most of them.
Yeah, you're right. Dan just bought. Dan bought all of them. Let's just put it that way.
Podcast pickup.
Yeah, I just played through 1, 2, 3, and some of 4. I have a PS3 one. I have Black. I've played Black before. I don't have the PS1, and I don't have the Twisted Metal, the mini one, or whatever the hell it's called. What's that one called, Dizzy? You know it.
Small bro.
Small bro. I also don't have that Tiger one, but there's a picture of that damn thing, Dizzy. Look at it. It all looks glory.
It looks beautiful.
They could keep that piece of trash.
You know, the franchise, yes, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I want to try the PS3 one. I just haven't ever done it. My favorite is definitely going to be the second one still. I still, for some reason, just really enjoy playing that game. I can play that game without screwing around and using any codes, or I can use codes and still enjoy myself thoroughly on it. The third one and fourth one, they start to fizzle off a little bit. Even with using cheat codes, the third one almost feels mundane and tedious. And that's kind of how the franchise started to fizzle down, I feel, for me. So I'm going to pick the second one as my favorite.
All right. What's the significance of using cheat codes? Does it make it better or something?
Well,
you can just go around and blow everything up without getting any damage on you. Really.
Yeah, you can put on infinite specials if you want. You can just run around as Mr. Grimm and just constantly shoot his special off, which is one of the most powerful in the game.
Like 2 hits and you're dead.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're still handicapped to hell and back because it's 2 hits and you're dead. In the third one, the pricks go and steal the meta packs all the time, so you're constantly killing them over and over again.
And in general, like when you go through the series 1, 2, 3, 4, is it just more characters or more tracks or something? What's the difference between this?
New tracks. The third one seemed like more arenas, stylish. Whereas like the second
cars
one
get
has
upgraded.
Like, yeah, there are different
cleaner.
cars too. They changed some of the weapons on them.
Yeah, they look a little cleaner too.
Gotcha.
3 and 4, I'd have to say, is where they started trying to mess with the quote-unquote lore, and that's what followed through most of the series afterwards. Is they started trying to make it like a fighting game. Like, oh, you have nostalgia. This here's stories.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But the point is, we're just vague story of character background, and we're smashing and wrecking cars and everything in between.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
I don't need to know their happily ever after stories.
You want to keep going, Josh? What's your impressions with your series and your experience with it?
My experience is, I remember at one point knowing somebody who actually had that grip gamer for like a minute. I played it exactly once and was like, we rented Twisted Metal 2. I'm going to go play that with the other guy that's here. You have fun with this.
Yeah, that thing sucked, dude.
I've played all of the PS1 games. I kind of went away and found other games to play, and like was surprised to hear, oh, Twisted Metal is on PS2 and PS3. It was kind of like by 4 they were like, we're not making anymore. It didn't sell well. I'm like, yeah, your audience went away because they didn't care for you messing with the formula. Surprise. I have 2 is where it was at, because that was one I rented a lot with friends, and we just hang out and have like a party and just be playing that game like constantly. Codes or no codes, it was just, you could just turn off your brain and have a lot of fun with it.
All right, have you played Small Bro, Josh?
I think, I can't remember.
That's with
honestly.
the RC cars.
Yes, I played that once and never again.
Right?
Everybody says that.
I know. I'm like the only one that doesn't say that.
Well, no, I'm sorry. If I'm gonna play an RC video game, RC car video game, I'm gonna go to the Nintendo for the original, the one that did all that for home console at the beginning.
Pro AM.
We go Pro Am, where you can get frustrated and be like,
Micro
limited graphics. They had to work within the means of the hardware. Okay, this one is kind of like, why did they do this to us?
Yeah, I think everybody.
What god did we anger to bring such a befoulment to Twisted Metal on PS1 and to our souls? Can I get my Blockbuster rent or Hollywood video rental fee back?
Not likely.
Not likely, unless you were like, it came back with it didn't play. It has all these scratches. It was there when I left.
You can always say that. You'll just get another game to rent.
Unless you get that one special asshole who's like, nope, I don't believe you. Look at this industrial monster resurfacing machine. It totally doesn't destroy discs at all.
All right, Dizzy. What about you? And I know you're a Twisted Metal fan as well.
A fan, yeah. The thing about it is, you had to be there in the late '90s when this came out, mid to late '90s. Like, it was brand new. Like, we're jumping from Super Mario Kart, which was pretty much a kid's game, to the Sony PlayStation. Like, teenagers, adults. This was basically like playing the Super Mario, and I think Mario Kart for 64 was out at the time too. So it was like playing Mario Kart 64 on the battlefield levels when you're doing multiplayer, fighting against each other. Not the racing, but just the battling. But it took it to a whole nother level. I mean, you had any type of car. There was a lowrider car. There was a police car. There was a hot rod. There was a monster truck. And, you know, all these vehicles with, like, different missiles and guns just, like, shooting at each other. And you had to be playing the multiplayer. It was something that had to be played with your cousins. That was my memory, like, playing at my cousin's house.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, 8 o'clock at night to 3 in the morning. Like, I specifically with this game, I remember it was our older cousin, and me and my younger cousins that were the same age, and it was his PlayStation. At 2 o'clock in the morning, he's kicking us out of the room, saying, you know, I'm going to sleep already. And what did we do? We went and we got a fork, and we broke into the door, and we went back in his room and kept playing that game all night. Like, we loved it. It was brand new. Like, we never saw anything like that before. I say Twisted Metal 1 and Twisted Metal 2, I mean, they're the original, so that's my go-to games. Twisted Metal Black is good, but like Josh was saying, they try to make too much backstory with it about Sweet Tooth and all that. I think Twisted Metal Small Brawl, if I'm not mistaken, might be on the PlayStation Classic Mini. I may be wrong about that, but I think that's where I played it. Unless it was on a RetroPie that I played it on. But yeah, the RC cars, I don't know what they were going for that one. I really don't. I don't know if they were trying to make it like a more like a younger kids version of Twisted Metal, where you're not like in a real car crashing. You're playing remote control.
If you look at Sweet Tooth in this picture, he is younger.
Yeah, so it's probably more for little kids. I didn't play that one when it came out. I didn't even know about it till a few years ago. The Tiger Grip one, which is, I think I'm the one who brought that one up to the guys, because I got a nostalgic memory with that Tiger Grip, that Tiger handheld Twisted Metal. I was in about 3rd grade, and this might have been like at school the weekend after playing Twisted Metal till 3 in the morning at my cousin's. One of my friends at school, he was telling me how he had Twisted Metal on a handheld. I'm like, nah, I played Twisted Metal. It's on the PlayStation. Maybe like all week I was telling him, nah, there's no such thing as a handheld. It's on the PlayStation. So on the school bus home, he opens up the book bag and he shows me the Tiger handheld, and it's Twisted Metal, which I'd never played the game. I didn't even play it there. This was like a 3-minute conversation on the bus, and I'm like so nostalgic for it now that like I'm willing to drop $40 or $60 to have sorry ass Tiger handheld, which probably sucks, but just for the fact that it's hard as hell to find, I can't find it on eBay. I could barely find it on Google. Like, something about it makes me want that Tiger handheld. Just from that, like I said, a 3-minute conversation on the bus that was basically, oh wow, they really do have a Tiger handheld, and that was probably the end of the convo. But I mean, that's the memory I have most about the whole Twisted Metal franchise, is that 3-minute convo. But I want that damn Tiger handheld, and I can't find it.
Well, Dizzy, you can keep that Tiger handheld. Nobody else wants it.
I want it. I want it, man.
That's it. That's what they did. They took those grips, and they printed more of the Twisted Metal small brawl games to be like, we're sorry. Not really, but here's a halfway, we're sorry.
I know they did the same Tiger handheld. They have Road Rash, and it's the same exact grip and everything. But I just want the Twisted Metal, man. I can't find it anywhere. But overall, great franchise. I love it. Dan, you got to play it on multiplayer. I think that's the thing about it.
Dizzy, the only reason that grip is in here is because of you. Otherwise, that thing would not have been in here. That is not a console game whatsoever.
I want somebody to see that and tell me on Discord, hey, I got this here for you. Just for you, since you're the only one who brought it up.
Oh, so you're hoping Zombie JLT1 is listening to you right now?
Zombie probably knows about it.
It's probably like, so he wants Twisted Metal Carpal Tunnel.
Shout out to Zombie. Zombie's coming up on the podcast a lot. Shout out to Zombie.
Well, yeah, he's awesome.
Gaming historian.
Yeah, that grip game, it was really hard to find a picture of it, Dizzy. So
I'm telling you, man.
So yeah, it's hard to find. So if I'll tell you what, if I ever see one, I would definitely pick it up for you because
it makes me want it even more.
Wow.
Awesome. All right, Chris, you're left, and I know you have played this. I know you've played this franchise.
Oh yeah, definitely. I, like Dizzy and Josh said, this is definitely like a couch co-op game. The more you play it with somebody, the more you want to continue to play it. Because if you try playing this by yourself, Bones will tell you it's not easy. Especially when you get towards the harder boss. Especially if you don't use any cheat codes. Bones, you played through without cheats?
Some of them, yeah.
Some of them are damn near impossible to play without cheats.
The third one was impossible. I got pissed off and I started cheating. I played through the first two without cheating. I used the first one's pretty tough, but you can kind of manipulate where you hide out at, and
Right, yep.
kind of do decent. But you have to use the extra like power bar you have where you hit like left, right, up, and the guy will shoot a freeze out, or a napalm is another button direction, and then a jump up in the air is like I think left, up. It's weird, but you use those and it helps you out. But the third one, yeah, okay, now I got I think third level in, and I was like, yeah, I'm cheating.
If I remember correctly, Twisted Metal 4 has Rob Zombie soundtracked on it. Am I right?
Third one, I
was
believe,
it 4
does.
or 3? 3? Was it 3? I thought it was
3,
4.
I believe, does.
I know one of them had it. That was a pretty decent soundtrack for the game. Made it more
Yeah,
appealing.
that was PlayStation's things. They were trying to start bringing more and more known popular artists into their games, whether they were made in North America or they were made in Japan. They were like shoehorning in that kind of music,
Right.
trying to attract a broader audience.
Even though it gets a lot of hate, Small Brawl is not as bad as some people are saying it is.
I didn't say it was bad. I said it wasn't good. There's a difference.
Wasn't good. It means the same thing. It's bad, right?
No.
It's a nice way of saying it's bad.
I could see playing it maybe once or twice. I wouldn't go out of my way to own it, but I could see playing it once or twice. I think everyone here can say that. I don't know. Now the whole Tiger grip game, no.
No, that's trash. That's
If
just
that
that doesn't even
in my
belong
house,
in here. That's just in here because Dizzy referred to it.
I'm nostalgic.
I'm
Otherwise, it
nostalgic
would
for a
have
lot of things.
it would have never been in
No.
here if it wasn't for Dizzy mentioning it.
Yeah, but I'm glad I know that useless knowledge of that Tiger
Useless
handheld
knowledge.
made.
I now know if it breaks into my house, I can identify it in a
Yeah,
lineup.
right.
Like those are things that you would never have thought of. I didn't know they made a Twisted Metal, let alone a Road Rash. Like it's just crazy. It's still the same crappy LCD screen though, or
Yeah,
whatever the hell they used.
I
Yeah,
guess you could say for this franchise, I have a lot of nostalgia for it because, like, I own every game. The only one I don't own is the PSP version, and obviously that stupid grip that's in here that doesn't belong in here.
So do not ask for a video game disc sleeve for the grip.
Oh,
Got
it will come up if Dan buys one.
We'll
I'm
sleeve
sure.
it.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will
If that
come up.
comes up, if that comes up, I'm sure there's going to be like an exorbitant price for anybody else that wants one. He's like, this is a making out of spite and hate fee.
Dan, there's been a lot of Dan's asked for that is I'm making out of spite and hate. But I still do it, don't I, Dan?
Yep.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if when you send out your receipt, you're like spite and hate fee. Wait, it's a spite and hate fee.
Yeah.
Have to make people have to actually sit there and Google. It's like, nope, not. I've never heard of this tax before.
Yeah.
So my final question for the franchise to wrap this segment up is why do you think this stopped at PS3? Do you think it just doesn't translate well to PS4 and modern PS5, modern Xbox? Do you think, or modern consoles? Do you think is any place for it now, or do you think it's run its course? Anybody?
I don't think it's run its course. I just think they didn't get the sales probably that they wanted. Josh already mentioned this. They didn't get the sales they wanted for these games, and I think it has a little bit to do with that. But I really think if they brought it back and they twisted it back the way they used to have it, twisted it.
I remember reading some stuff on that actually. I think what happened is the production companies or whatever that were in charge of making that game
I was going to say, who produced this game? Does anybody know?
got absorbed and then, dissolved. So like anything, it's like, well, we own the license, but we're not going to do anything with it. But we're not going to keep any of the staff either. We just wanted what you had.
Oh,
kind of deal.
I remember 989 Studios did this this game. I think they did. It looks like 4 maybe.
I just remembered that. I'm like, it's PS3 is where they tried to revive some older franchises back. Like before it became the thing for HD collections or remasters or bundles, whatever you want to call it. They were kind of trying to do a quasi version of that. Like, let's revive this franchise. And they were very hit and miss. As if you look at now, what is it? Switch as like pretty much the king of that kind of thing.
Oh man, Switch is a whole nother ballgame.
Switch is like potato chips, man. You buy a couple games because you think they're small and easy to fit, and next thing you know, you're looking and you're like, that is ridiculous. They multiply like cockroaches.
Yeah, for real. And now
Your other consoles are like
the region's not locked,
manageable.
and you can get it anywheres now. You can get any region, so that makes it even more enticing to buy more. So.
Oh yeah. Now, do I think if they made another game and they followed Nintendo standards or whatever and put it on Switch, it wouldn't be a whole new invention to it? You bet people would buy that if they made a
buy
bundle.
it because now you got to translate handheld too. Like,
yeah, you can literally continue to play on the go.
yep.
It will not be like PSP where it's like, if you drop it, oh no,
Right.
there's a chance the game's gonna flop out. You're gonna lose your spot anyway, and you might break your system. I mean, Switch has done that to a lot of games that, honestly, I can say a lot of people probably have never thought they'd ever see the day that remember being when they first came out. I can take this on the go with me. I mean, I don't have to have another system that can quote unquote cloud link or whatever they want to call it to the system.
Yep.
And as long as I'm in range, I can still be playing my game. I mean, I can see Twisted Metal if it was done right being done, even if they just did a bundle collection.
Roots. Yeah,
I mean, if they just
everybody's doing that now. They're doing bundles.
yeah, I could see them very easily going back and saying, you know what,
1 to 3.
Let's take all the PS2, all the PS1, and that PSP game because very easy to map them to the buttons.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, it's possible.
Now,
you just gave them an idea. There you go, Twisted Metal. Come on back. Come on. I don't have
to give them an idea. It's probably already on the table. It just needs somebody to help push it along.
Yeah, it might be.
I mean, that's like, what is it, Pocky and Rocky? Nobody ever thought they'd see that. Now there's a reshrined version coming out.
That's an expensive game on the Super.
Yeah, that's probably going to hit. That's the thing, though. Some of these reissues do, in fact, for a minute, on the great wave of price hiking for nostalgia video games, hits them hard. Yep. It's just being there at the right time to catch it before it goes right back up. For the hardcore people are like, nope, still need to have it. We're going to keep it up at $200, even if the label is completely messed up. $200.
Yeah, no label.
Just a Sharpie and a crudely drawn raccoon on it.
Yep.
I've come across that kind of thing in the wild. It sickens me. It's like, no, we don't need eBay prices. Know what you have, not what you think you have.
All right, we done with Twisted Metal, I think, for now.
Dizzy, what's your thoughts real quick on that? I'm curious.
I don't know what killed the franchise. It might have been what Josh was saying about them trying to make too much of a backstory, though, because it seems that, like, that's what happened with the PS2 version, Twisted Metal Black. Like,
oh, no, I like Black compared to
I like it, too, but it seemed like the whole intro to the game was like some type of weird backstory with the clown and the carnival.
Well, honestly, they should have did that shit in 1. They should have came out with it like that. Like, they should have started with it with a backstory.
It sounds like what I'm getting here is, it sounds like there's the argument there was too much retconning the lore and not enough actual meat to the game. Everyone wanted to keep making their own version of what happened.
I guess it also depends on what studio had it at the time, like who was developing the game. Because, like, I know I see 2 of these games were by 989. I don't know about the rest of them. Because if a developer took over and, like, revamped it again, that could be the reason why you guys are talking about it the way that it is, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, certain studios, they survive on a single license and constantly being there and being indispensable as the people that created it, and some are like, nope, you just had a license we wanted, bye.
Pretty much. And then the game gets squashed too because all they wanted was the licensing.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Metal Head On? What was that about? Because that's the one I don't know too much about.
PS2.
It is on PS2 and PSP.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a more expensive one on PS2.
Is it really?
Yeah, like
it was a
maybe
life
like
game.
$30-40.
What'd you say, Josh?
It's one of those games. It's one of those last batch of anything that's not going to be shovelware end of life games that people might have interest in. Probably by that time, if it had a PSP was kind of used as a bridge towards PS3, while they were struggling to get PS3s out as an available console to everybody. So generally there's games, and this is why Little Samson stuff, they're considered end of life.
Yeah, end of life games. Like for the Wii, the last title that came out for the Wii was Just Dance 2020 or something like that, and that's one of those expensive games because it's the end of the cycle of the Wii.
And it's a game people actually was considered good. Now, if you look at some systems, will continue to kind of go until they finally say that's it. We're not letting anything be made.
Right.
But after that, it's like shovelware games, like Diego learns to count to 21. Okay, I didn't know he didn't know how to count to 21, but I'm not interested.
But that's a game you want to pick up because it's going to be worth a couple hundred.
Nope, that's a game that even at video game conventions is like sitting in the what's considered the grandma trap clearance bin. Okay.
Yeah, for like.
Even they're like, please take it home. I'm like, nope, did that once with a movie. I'm not doing that again. Wes Craven's Cursed movie. Movie took me forever to get rid of. It literally kept coming back to my house. I threw it away and it was sitting on my patio. I'm like, what the hell? Like, it was bad. I finally got rid of it, and somebody's like, I think it was used media shops. Like, we only want to give you $3. I'm like, I don't care. It's yours. You could have told me you'll take it for free, and I would have been happy. I don't want it. It's a bad
Now I'm
movie.
interested in that movie.
Oh,
Damn, I
jeez.
never heard of that one.
It's Wes Craven trying to act like it's not a werewolf movie, but it's a bad werewolf movie. The only redeemable spoilers here thing about that movie is I got to see a werewolf being shot at, and it flipped people off. That was like the only payoff to that movie.
What?
I'm like, okay, but it was done as comedy, not as horror. And I'm like, come on, Wes,
Yeah,
you're whoring out your name now. Come on.
Yeah.
But that's not video game death sleeve material.
Hey, you can talk about whatever you like to talk about on here. That's totally
He's
fine.
Okay. He's now turning his brand into movie dust sleeves.
No.
VHS sleeve.
No. I am still considered video game dust sleeves, but if you want to talk about that on the podcast, anything's fair game on the podcast. This is not this is not just video game dust sleeves.
Yeah,
podcast.
we've done movie podcasts and
Yes,
stuff.
we've done just about everything on here, even Arcade 1-Up podcast.
I get it. This is that quick stop of go get the trap. We don't have the Ghostbusters. The ghost is going rogue. We should have scripted him.
No scripts here. No scripts.
Gotta just keep stomping on my jokes, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Oh shit. But nah. Nope. For obviously, like I mentioned earlier, most of my stuff is packed up, and I will say this. Yeah, I like to stream a lot of different like weird games stuff, but the Switch has to be, of all the consoles I've messed with, the most built for streaming system I've ever seen. I literally can plug it into the Elgato, plug it into my computer, and I'm good to go. I don't have to run like converters or misters or any of that.
Yeah, HDMI.
You just go plug, done. You don't have to worry about, oh crap, there's like 5 cables running across the floor now. There's some boxes somewhere floating in that mix too. Shit. And if it breaks, it's gonna be like another $100. God damn it.
Now, do you stream a lot of retro games, or do you stick solely to the Switch mostly?
Well, I stream all kinds of stuff. Like on using a modded Wii, I've done Game Boy. I've streamed like just whatever came to my mind that was like from Nintendo or anything like that. But I'm across the board. I also have streamed import games that I believe Chris brought up because I could. Not necessarily I had any idea what they were saying, because my Japanese was very rusty these days, but I knew enough of what was going on and what buttons to push to do what I wanted.
So you're getting Japanese RPGs then, since you said you liked RPG.
RPGs, Musos. I used to play fighters before my hands got jacked up.
All right, hold on. Let's backtrack real quick. Dan, I know you didn't really say anything about the franchise. Did you have anything to say?
Oh no, I'm done. I said in the beginning I wasn't I was gonna pass because I didn't play many of these games, but
I called him out on his pass thing, if you remember.
Yeah, I do remember that. I just wanted to make sure there was nothing else that needed to be said about.
But yeah,
franchise.
no, I think we're done. The only thing
Okay.
that's sad is that Bandana is not here, because I know he would have a lot to say. But
the only thing he was pissed off about is there was no green label, and I just wanted to mention that again. All right, Bandana, I said it for you. There's no green label in here, and he's extremely pissed off about it, Dan.
How dare you not have that overstock rebranding has the affordable model copy out on this image? How dare you?
I shed a tear for you, B. I shed a tear for you.
Let's be honest here. That green label was done deliberately to draw your eye to it. That bright fluorescent green.
Yep. Besides the fact that it's a value game, you get it less than you would play for a black label.
Oh yeah. What was sad is there was people that would flip the discs out of that into empty cases of black label and think nobody would notice.
Yeah.
all right, I'll make a green label franchise for him next time. But he's got to make the podcast at least.
Yeah, what's up with Bandana? This is like the second one he missed.
And it's the guy, and it has the guy that Chris has been trying to hunt down forever. It seemed like, what the hell? You got something against him that we don't know about?
Man.
I've seen a couple of his streams, and I don't think I've really ever interacted with him to piss him off. So, hey, I'm being honest. I know I'm not everybody's flavor. Hell, I'm that one guy that goes around and says, I prefer not to be perfect.
Nobody is.
Nobody is.
Exactly. I'm also that person that gets pissed off when you call me perfect. So it's a mixed bag there. How dare you? You think you're perfect. No, you're projecting that on me. I'm just a smartass that's calling you out on it.
All right, so
It's like, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say something, but I completely spaced it now. Go ahead.
All right, so let's get to know a little bit about Josh since he's been talking so graciously.
Hey, I'm sorry. I've been trained from VTubing to fill empty space.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where we can find you, because not a lot of people know, especially that listen to this podcast. Like, I have people on here that do not do YouTube at all. Dan is one of them. Dan actually is just strictly Instagram. So if you want to learn about Dan or get to know Dan, that's where you find out about Dan.
Well, let's see.
But tell us a little bit about yourself. Also, what you collect, what games do you like to play?
Let's see.
I know you do drawing, because obviously you do some kind of graphic work, because I've done sleeves with your
You've had people go, "Hey, can you put this together and send it to them?" I'm like,
Yeah.
sure, why not?
I can name a few of those people. Zombie JLT.
I know Zombies was one of those I did because I was bored, and I sent him like the image. He's like, "You should go send that to him and tell him if he sells any of them, you can get a cut of this particular one." I'm like,
Yep.
Okay,
That was fair. I actually did it.
I'm like, okay.
Quesadilla Padilla. He's another one.
Yeah, that was. There's the double E gamer one for his channel that him and his daughter do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got both
There's
of those.
there's his solo one. I did helped put together the graphics for the defunct Super Mega Retro Dudes one.
Yep, I have that one still. Yep.
Now that's the one I'm surprised didn't go into the wild.
I'm still here. Still here.
only mine. Like, I slided somebody that was like, you know what, that Josh Sleeve needs to go. I'm like, poor Josh Sleeve, my soul weeps for you. But I do some artwork. I used to be really good until workplace accident messed up the nerves in my hands.
Damn, that sucks.
Yes, a Mercedes-Benz trunk lid smashed and locked closed with my fingers in it.
Ooh.
The lady who, owns the car is looking there and not, with her key bob in her hand. She could easily hit the button that, releases the button.
Ouch.
And, at some point I'm trying to be professional, calm, I'm not supposed to... Every fiber of your being right now, as you're feeling this incredible pain on your fingertips, is wanting you to scream every obscenity and words you didn't even know you knew at the top of your lungs and in an animalistic roar. I finally just ripped my hands free of her trunk lid.
Damn.
She proceeded to get in her car. I don't even know if she finished buckling her kids up and hauled ass over the divider in the parking lot.
Wow.
I'm like,
Nice.
you could at least, make sure part of me's not still in your car. And I remember this incident because I go walking in there. I'm still feeling pain. I have my fingers now curled in a cupped motion under the sleeve of my work jacket. So people, if I am bleeding profusely or anything, or it's bleeding, I'm not dripping blood or anything. Walk into the spot I'm supposed to say, okay, I need the medical stuff. And I have to step off of quote unquote stage because, everything's a stage for about 15 minutes. Why? It's like, are you really going to ask me right now why I'm feeling now a saturation in the palm of my hand build up? Or are you just going to give me the damn shit? So I end up just taking my teeth onto my work jacket, pull my sleeves up, and I'm like, this is why. They're like, oh my God. yeah, that lady that you were so insistent I go help, yeah, she stormed off and slammed my fingers on the trunk lid. Thank you for not giving me any help lifting the heavy-ass furniture into her car.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
Nice.
But I play, that's also why I don't do like fighters, because later games you have to be able to trigger and all that kind of stuff, like crazy moves.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, sometimes my hands will start just going to sleep. I've had streams where I was like, give me like a minute, I gotta shake my hands awake. But my favorite games still to this day, Mega Man, Ninja Turtles 3 on NES. Though for some reason on modern consoles, I'm hoping with the Cowabunga collection they'll fix that lag it seems to have. Because like every version I've played on a new TV, even with adjusted little flickers or whatever bullshit you want to call them, it feels like there's a lag. But currently I've been playing, a lot of Legends of Arceus on Switch. I need to wrap up Dragon Warrior Monsters, which apparently not many people remember playing on Game Boy Color.
Where can we find you at? I know you didn't mention that.
Oh, I'm on Yahoo. Or not Yahoo. Goddamn, Josh, get your shit together. We are not 1995, man. I'm on YouTube right now. I know eventually, like all great people, I'm gonna have to make that decision. Do I go and move to Twitch and part-time YouTube, or do I try to restream or what? But I'm not there yet. I mean, endgame, if somebody from Twitch was like, "Here's a couple grand to be a whore now," I might consider it. Hey, this day and age with like the pandemics and everyone wanting to work from home, if you're willing to pay for my voice, I am all in it, and all I gotta do is sit on my ass and play video games anyway. Let's do this.
Right.
I go from that.
What's your YouTube channel name? You didn't say that either.
It is JoshXZeroify.
There you go. All right, just want to make sure they got that in there.
Yep, I am pretty easy to find. I have a whole grand total of, as of now, I literally this is how on top of worrying about numbers I am, okay? I have 140 lurklings. Yes, I call my subscribers lurklings because when I came on the scene, there was people bitching about lurkers. I'm like,
at least they're
part of that movement. I was part of that movement that, like, you know what? I can relate to people that have nothing to say sometimes, and they're just there. Yep. Because sometimes there are people that say what you wanted to say, maybe not exactly how you wanted to say it, but they asked the question or said a thought you had, so it's like, why would I ask that again? Why would I want to annoy this person with the same question? You know, kind of feel. Now trolls, that's a gray area with me. People are like, you should appreciate trolls, they count as views. I'm like, yeah, but they're not the views you want. They're the kind that come around and will be like, dislike, 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 and mess up all your analytics.
What's your favorite video game?
Right now? You gotta be more specific,
Holy Grail.
sir.
Holy Grail.
Holy Grail of game I want right now. I'd have to say Magic Knight Ray Earth on the Sega Saturn. And that's only because I'm a huge anime nerd, and that's the Magic Knight Ray Earth series.
You like anime too, huh?
Oh, dude, I have.
Okay, so I gotta keep you in mind because we're gonna have an anime podcast coming up, and I need people that know what the hell they're talking about on it.
Oh, dude, I have an entire bedroom wall of shelving, like halfway up the wall, from one end to the other, full of anime.
All right, I got it. I'm gonna keep you on the back.
I still have VHSs. I have VHSs, merch. I got a solid investment. Let's put it this way: when one of the problems that happened to my apartment while I was away, and my family was here, and they were dealing with the problem while I was across somewhere else, tending to people who couldn't take care of themselves from a car accident, the gentleman who came to handle one of the problems walked into my room for inspections and all that and was like, "Oh my God, I love this person." My mother quickly made sure to explain, that is a dude's room, number one. He's not interested in anybody, number two. And don't steal his shit because he knows exactly what he has. It's like, yeah. I used to do trading and stuff like that too in that area, but like it's funny that especially in the States, I find it really funny that most games came from like comics or inspired by comics that are considered manga or anime, and people love them or hate them over here in the States and don't want to believe that. I'm like, well, let me be that guy that tries to bridge that gap for you if I can find the game and actually play it.
Well, consider the source where the games come from, right?
Oh, what's that market? It's
Japan.
freaking ridiculous.
Consider the source. Like they're coming from Japan, so
yeah, that's the thing that kills me. Back, I'm not even gonna say that long ago, like 4 years ago, you could get like physical Japanese games fairly cheap, like literally what would be our clearance used game good deal prices. Now they're marked up so high because they can still get them at that price, but they can resell them on eBay out here for like some ridiculous price.
Yeah.
And it's kind of unnerving. Like if you find a good seller in Japan who's like, oh, if you're looking for something, let me know. Actually tap them, because I had not too long ago, I made friends with like 3 or 4 of them, and they were hooking me up with some great stuff I'm collecting. I'm also huge into quote unquote tokusatsu, which is basically Power Rangers, Kamen Riders kind of stuff. I have a lot of that.
It's a shame Bandana's not here. He's a big Power Rangers fan.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes,
I've been streaming most of the Kamen Rider games I have that I've managed to acquire. I have some on the back burner. I'm trying to get one for the Switch, but that game is being very elusive with its price, that I can say I can afford that game and actually not starve. Like I said, a lot of my hustle has been real life hustle these days has been neutered by the pandemic and people being like, well, I'm home, I'll just do it myself than pay somebody else to do it, you know?
Right.
So it's kind of that kind of feel. But let's see. When it comes to Kamen Rider, there's a few holy grails there, but I'm not going to get into that because I could spend too long talking about that.
All right, let me hand it over to Bones. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, you said that the wonderful Switch was like a bag of potato chips, you know. Is that your biggest collection then?
No. I can tell you right now that's a lot. That's no. No. I've got plenty of boxes currently sitting in my dining room, almost to the damn ceiling, full of video games. Ranging from Nintendo to Switch and PS4. And some Xbox 360 in between. But as far as like for Switch, I just noticed I never thought, honestly, I'd have at least a decent sized box of Switch games. I was like, Switch is that game thing. I'd be like, okay, a few good titles, kind of like the Game Boy. Didn't think I was going to be like an actual PlayStation 4 collection where it's like, bam, I have a lot of these games.
Yeah, I've been there. What's the hardest console that you had to hook up for streaming?
That would be the Sega Saturn. Because
why is that?
Because of the converters and stuff, and the fact it's like a glass cannon. When it decides to go out on something with its original hardware self, because of its age and how it was made, it goes out. And we're talking about it wasn't made for like streaming. It was made to plug in, be played, and that was it. Not constantly unplugged and replugged.
Yeah, I've had a problem with Sega CD, not streaming, but even just recording.
Yeah, it's what pretty much, if you get a Saturn now and the laser burns out, you basically got to do that SD card thing that people have been doing. I forget what exactly it's called, but it's like basically you just have the shell of a Sega Saturn and you more or less turn it to a RetroPie.
Yeah.
Oh, take the lens out.
Yeah. They take the lens out, and then there's like this piece of hardware that like fills that hole, but you can just slide a micro SD card into it. If I was going to think of somebody off the top of my head that could probably tell you exactly what that is very easily, I'd have to say Hector the Game Collector or Quesadilla Padilla would be able to tell you, because I know for a fact they've done it.
I bet you Dan knows. Don't you know, Dan?
Yeah, I have a modded Saturn. It's a mode, I think it's called, and then
Yeah, I thought so. That sounded like something that you had done.
yeah, and it uses a solid state drive to play
Yeah.
games off of. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so I wasn't
Nice.
completely off, but yeah, that would probably be the hardest. Followed by the N64, which I do not know why. Like we're gonna play some legit N64 when I very first started with my part-time co-host that comes and goes as he wants, Monkey, which people know about. He's on my streams, but we tested it, days before we tested just to see if it would work. It was working fine. For whatever reason, it decided the day of the stream it wasn't going to work. It did not want to hook up with nothing, didn't want to work. So I'm like, okay, fuck it. We're like 30 minutes behind the stream now. We got to get going. So we end up hooking up something different and playing. Then we're like, just for our own shits and giggles here, let's see, and lo and behold, it decided to work and has worked ever since. But I just never went back to stream it because I'm like, I'm not going to go through that mental hell again.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It's like, I'm not going to promise something and then look like an ass because then I didn't deliver.
All right, Dan, you want to go next?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think I just have one question. As Chris mentioned earlier, I am one of the older podcast members, so I always ask the question like, how far back do you go? In terms of your interests, and like, what was your first console, first of all, and do you go back to like the early days, like Atari and all that? Are you interested in that at all?
Oh, so you want to carbon date me? I get it. Well, unfortunately, I do go back to the original Nintendo and Atari days, and I do revisit Nintendo, obviously. Atari, not as much because I don't have a huge fondness of many games I played on Atari. I can't play on the other systems. Does that help you, or do I need to go further? Do I need to go any far? Or do I need to go even farther and be like, oh, he's from this day and age? When they thought the wheel was amazing.
I would say by and large, most of the people we talk to, they go back to at least the NES days. We haven't had too many people who don't play NES, right, Chris? I don't.
No, I think everybody pretty much played the NES.
Yeah, that's like
I know some people that beg to differ to say they're not Nintendo boys, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about the era that they started gaming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Typically the NES era.
Yep. Pretty much that's when it started. That's when it picked up anyway.
And you mentioned Switch. Are you like into the modern stuff too? Like
oh yeah. I do not have a PS5, Xbox. I feel like building a better computer than owning an Xbox, but I do actually have what's going to be eventually an heirloom to her daughter. 360. I just never bothered to like stream it because I have no games I'd actually play on it, so it's one of those consoles for me. I turn it on, make sure it works, clean it, and then it's like, okay, you're good. Moving on. But as far as PS5, no, I have not even seen a physical PS5. I've seen the controller and a game in the wild ones, but that's about it around me.
Interesting. Oh, I guess one last question is: you mentioned you had issues with your hands. Is that a permanent thing, or is that something that's going to heal? And then because of that, have you can, and then one you get into is have you tried VR? Maybe that's an alternative solution.
Oh no, I can play games decently. It's just I have to consciously be recognized. Okay, when it starts going from that almost that when you've rested on your hand and like kind of feel sleepy needle feeling to now it feels like somebody's on the inside stabbing my hands with knives and burning sensation, I have to walk away for a minute. I'm also unfortunately incredibly double jointed to the point in my fingers I can dislocate them at will and pop them back in, so that doesn't help me at all. Which, according to the quackery of that job's doctor, is why I was able to rip my hands out of a trunk lid. I'm like, okay, so you're calling me a genetic mutant, but are my hands going to look normal? That's part of my concern here because part of my job requires me to use my hands.
That's your superpower, pulling your hand out of trunks.
Oh no, dude. Apparently my knees can bend almost completely backwards too.
Oh.
I am a giant genetic, and when I say giant, I mean I'm over 6 foot, almost pushing seven, okay? I am that kind of giant freak. Which is odd that literally I picked a ghost because I can blend into a crowd pretty seamlessly and it scares the shit out of people. There's plenty of people I've literally walked up on, they thought they'd hear me coming and they're like, holy shit. Like, yeah. Just be glad I'm on your side, right? Don't cross the ghost. It's like, don't cross the streams, only more violent. No. But no, I'd have to say though, if you're gonna ask me, and I'm just gonna throw this out there, of modern games that have pissed me off to no end, the first version of Jay and Silent Bob, before they did the patch or the patch job to it, their version of the Turbo Tunnel on their NES clone. I forget exactly what they call a Mall Brawl is what they call it.
Oh yeah, the Mall Brawl.
Their version of Turbo Tunnel pissed me off because I would get almost close and then all of a sudden it was like, nope, you failed. I'm like, you bastard. But then apparently they realized they accidentally made it too hard. I'm like, how the hell do you accidentally something? I've heard of accidentally, now we need to give you a patch, or here's DLC you need to buy, which is a good chunk of the game. Example of this, kids, Dragon Ball Fighters. Like almost their entire damn roster is behind a paywall. I'm not even kidding. And they have the goal. They have the goal to make you think that you see it on sale for like under $20. You're like, oh my god, that's amazing. I have to buy. And then you get there and you're like, and there's the other $60. Okay. But kids, you can buy a season pass. I don't know how often I'd actually come back to playing this game to warrant a season pass. It's your mix and matches. Now, here's a question for you guys.
Hold on. Dizzy, did you have any questions? Before you
Josh? Yeah, I got a question real quick. And we were talking about this earlier. I think I was the one that helped get the logo that Josh made for Quesadilla to Chris to make that dust sleeve for Doubly Gamers. It was like a surprise dust sleeve. So
yep, and I kept quiet on that one.
I appreciate that too.
People ask me, hey Josh, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working on some graphics with the computer.
Yeah,
my own.
And I think you've also helped me. You've helped make a logo for me for Twitter. I had on Twitter for a while. I think that became my first dust sleeve that Chris made. Where Chris made the DizzyTheGamerJit logo, but he used the background that Josh had made for me for Twitter, I believe. And also Josh has sent me different PNGs for my stream and for my daughter's stream. So I was gonna, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's other people. So what makes somebody suitable for a Josh logo or a Josh banner?
I just do it because I can, and I don't think sometimes people need that, helping hand and not have to spend a fortune to have something nice. Like,
yeah, that's appreciative. Yeah,
there's legitimately, like I said, I'm quote unquote a VTuber. There are people that, yes, when you're doing commissioned artwork and charging people money, you have to put a price on your time. Like in anything you do, that's basically consumerism in a nutshell. You work for somebody, they're saying, well, we value your time at this much an hour. You have to put that kind of thing. But there's also that problem of, I've seen where people will draw something that looks absolutely like garbage, but looks really pretty because they use a bunch of effects in an art program. And they'll be like, oh, you want something like this? We want $100. Like, nah, I don't think so. I think for a beginner piece, I'll find somebody who can help me out. It's one of those things. I think, we have enough assholes in the world. We don't need another one.
That's true.
That has been my motto for a long, like as much as anybody who's known me when I first came on the scene in the YouTube gaming community that we're in. Well, I'm in with Dizzy and whoever else is in here that I may or may not have seen your stuff. I'm sorry, I'm like zombie. I have way too many windows open to like between Twitch and YouTube these days, like doing the cycle passing through. That is not me just being an ass. That's me saying I was here, I may come back, don't count on it, but hey, you're now in my lap. Just hope it's not the Kentucky Derby and I blew out my knee and I got put down. Or I might have gotten distracted because that, happens. IRL. I live with other people. I'm not a troll in the basement.
We appreciate the Josh passing through. I mean, we see it on everybody's stream.
There's only one person that like makes a run at me, and I'm not gonna name names, that like wants to do a mock version of it. I'm like, don't hate on me because you didn't have the idea.
I know what you're talking about.
It was cute at first, and now it just makes us both look like an ass.
Yeah, right.
Pick your battles.
I had another question too. And again, Zombie JLT1 is getting brought up on the podcast, but I know personally that you are in a tag team wrestling match on the LLE roster with Zombie JLT. Do you know who you're fighting against?
I have no idea. I've been, honestly, last I heard from the LLE over on Omega Ace's channel that he does with Mazin.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be that big wrestling match to determine who's going to get the chance for the title for wrestling. But we are the Supernatural Gamers. I did do a little promo thing I put together. It's on my channel. I think it's like, what? Let me see if I can find it real quick, and I can actually give an exact time, because I'm that kind of weirdo. Yeah, a 44-second little Supernatural promo. Didn't challenge Dizzy. I don't know if anybody's did an actual proper I want to wrestle Dizzy response video.
That Brothers Forge Gaming actually responded.
But that was 5 months ago. I know I could have swore they were supposed to do a cast for that somewhere around here, right?
Yeah, it's coming out pretty soon. I think in the next couple of weeks. Omega was just talking about it last night. What are some of the wrestling moves you're going to be doing out there?
I don't even know what wrestling moves are programmed in there. The first time I saw my character, I'm like, okay, he nailed that guy's body type right, that guy's body type right. And here I come running out, I'm like going, well, he got the tallness right, but I am not that lanky. I am a thick motherfucker. I feel proper representation needs to be made, so if we ever cross paths in the real world of not the digital space here, people are like, oh, he really does look like that. Not, there's that sticker shock effect where it's like, holy shit, they were off.
I thought he was a ghost.
I thought he really is that white. Check. He is definitely not as young as I thought he sounded like. Check. Why is he so tall? Check. How the hell did he get right next to me? Holy shit, check.
He's right there.
But no, I really don't know, because like I said, I've only seen myself wrestle in that one match where it got filled where I think the AI was just automatically chucking people, because I watched it again.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm like, wait a minute. For a minute there, everyone was like doing a move, and then it's like all of a sudden, explosion, everyone was out of the ring. I'm like, okay, yep. That is the limit of the AI speaking. I'm just hoping he's not got me like super tall guy, but he's cruiserweight. I'm like, oh. I will never get a belt at this rate. But if I was going to say on that what titles I'd like to have and I'd be completely content with it, I'm humble enough to say I'd like to have the world tag team with Zombie. And I'd probably like to get that hardcore title.
Nice.
Because that's the hardcore was like my favorite matches. Now, if I have a move something like Undertaker's, which was my favorite wrestler since God, I think the first day I ever saw him, up to his retirement, then I'd be completely stoked about that. That is my motif right there. Now, how about you, sir? Yeah, I know you want to make I know you want to make a run at the ghost. Go ahead, say it. Go ahead. I'm here.
I mean, I have my hands full. Easy's gonna try to take me out of my championship title. But we're gonna see who's gonna win that one.
You
I
have
had
a championship title, huh?
I forgot what it is, but we're wrestling for something. I think I just called out the LLE and it was whoever challenged me. So he challenged me.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I was thinking of it, and then all of a sudden I saw the like re-roster broadcast that he did of like new teams, new add-ons that he had put in, and I was with Zombie as a Supernatural Gamers. I'm like, well, work with that. I don't know if it'd be wise to be like, okay, I want to go be in the run for tag team, and then I want to make a run at Dizzy at the same time, all in the same night. I think that would be a little much.
That would have been cool to see, though.
It's too early for me to be making those Iron Man type of claims, right? It's like
I had another question for you, Josh. You were talking about earlier about being a VTuber, and you were the first person I heard speaking about VTubers. Can you explain what that is to everybody else? What the VTuber is?
To my understanding, it's like if you look at my shows, there's like my a little cartoon character, kind of anime-like, which actually could be any kind of cartoon thing where you're moving around, you're kind of like a cartoon, and your voice moves. I'm what they call a ping because I only have 2 reactions. My body doesn't move, just my mouth will pop open and closed. There are people who spend thousands of dollars that like have big functions where if they move with tracking of a camera, their model will move, and they just like blinking, talking, and they'll play games. It's basically being a game streamer or content creator, but you're voice acting.
And you're not showing your face.
Oh, I got you.
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
You're not showing your face.
Not showing your face.
Right.
There are people that do a mix, but it's kind of that area of not having what they call a dissociation, where there's you're seeing game footage, but you either hear a voice, but you're not seeing where that voice is coming from, so it like loses your attention span. Humans have about a 15-second attention span to make a decision whether they're going to watch something or go somewhere else or do something if their interest is there.
And in the YouTube world, it's like a 15-minute watch time, because like typically anything past 15 minutes, nobody's gonna watch unless they're really interested.
Oh, you gotta be very interested, and but
Yep.
That's the thing with YouTube though, and then their algorithms and everything, and their quote unquote, we're not trying to only give big money people attention.
Well, we all know that's what
it's hard. It's hard. It's like very, very, very hard.
Yep.
It's like I've had people approach me and say, you're wasting your VTuber like talents over here. I believe if you moved over to this platform, you'd be doing so much better. And I'm like, I can see it, but there's that brand loyalty, and it's like I've spent, I think at least, not counting any hiatuses that either I had to take or were unplanned, probably about 1.5 years of actual work into making content and trying to make it work on YouTube. Through that mess, it's like, I will say this, it's hard on YouTube. YouTube is like trying really hard to make it impossible.
Yeah.
It feels like sometimes it's like constantly in that uphill battle that nobody wants to do. But it's where you're comfortable.
Any other questions, Dizzy?
That was about it.
Josh, did you have anything for us?
Sure. Who all is in the LLE?
There's a lot of people.
That's Dizzy.
No, I'm talking about that's sitting here in this room.
Well, that's you and Dizzy.
He's like, so me and Dizzy are like dissing like we're co-workers, and you guys are like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
I mean,
right
only reason why I know is because I'm kind of in touch with some of those people, but other than that, I don't really know much other than what you guys are talking about now.
Oh yeah. How many people would legitimately play that stream would play an RPG?
Dan.
Yeah, I play RPGs. I don't stream though, but
I said that I made that qualifier that stream, not that that play them. I know there's plenty of people like, yeah, I play an RPG. Like almost every game nowadays says RPG like elements. I'm like, okay, well,
Mhm.
I can be that leeway guy. But
Yeah, I'm not into the RPGs much.
Me neither.
and yet I guarantee you've all touched Pokemon.
Nope.
We had a
Yes.
Pokemon.
We're very
podcast.
anti-Pokemon in here.
Just
Really?
Pokemon Snap. That's about it.
Really? And yet you call me out on Pokemon. I knew it was a trap. I knew
Pokemon
it.
Snap is all right, but I don't know much more
I'm
about
sorry.
that.
Did you say Snap or Trap? Because I was about to say Pokemon Trap. I didn't know they came out with that version, that fan version yet.
Well, I wanted the Pokemon Light Gun game, and they didn't make that yet.
No, that's actually what Snap pretty much is like a rail shooter.
I hope.
No, I own the game. I'm telling you, both on 64 and on Switch, that's exactly what it's like. The only difference is you're not killing anything. You're just trying to get that perfect
Yeah,
shot.
taking pictures.
Maybe you get some items to throw and stimulate them, as they put it, whether it be beam them in the head or throw food at them.
Hit him with an apple.
I'm not kidding. Watch original footage of the N64 Pokemon Snap when they get to Mew. There be fools pegging that flying psychic kangaroo cat looking thing in the head with apples. I'm no joke on that. I thought he was a kangaroo mouse for the longest time until people told me he was a cat. I'm like, I don't see it. I can see looking like a kangaroo mouse, but not a cat. His name's Mew. Mew is cat in Japanese. I'm like, I thought it was Neko, but okay. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that diatribe or rant or whatever.
Any other questions, Josh?
What is the latest game you're playing?
Bones?
Well, I just picked up Saints and Sinners, The Walking
Ooh.
Dead for the VR, but I haven't played it yet.
Ah.
Dan?
I was going to save this for my game of the month, but the latest game I got was Ghostwire Tokyo for the PS5.
Dizzy?
No idea.
Dizzy?
The latest game I'm playing, I'm gonna be streaming Lethal Enforcers on Sega with the light gun in about an hour.
In about an hour.
And me, I can't really tell you the latest game I'm playing because I really haven't had time to play games.
Okay. We'll make that adjustment to what was the last game you played.
That would have been on the arcade cabinet with Bones. Bones, what did we play?
I can't say that name. Dan knows that he bought.
What is it, Dan?
The game on your cabinet we played?
Yeah.
Oh, Van Car? Is that what you
Yep. It's an Atari game, but it's only on a arcade. It's not a physical copy.
Okay, now say that 10 times fast. And Dizzy can count if you do it successfully or not.
No. Not even gonna try.
Not even gonna try. Well, the last one I've played was Azure Striker Gunvolt. I forget what exact. It's the 2 game pack on Switch. Because I decided to change up a Hangout stream from me doing Pokemon Arceus to something different. I played the original one on 3DS and remember enough of it to be like, okay, there's a certain thing I needed to make sure to do, otherwise the final boss has a unavoidable instant kill move if you don't have that. And unfortunately, I have a poll on my Twitter, if I remember right, where I put up do we continue on my next stream this game or this game, or try to have somebody on or whatever, which oddly nobody approaches me very often for collabs like I'm some sort of scary monster. I'm like, okay. I am terrifying. But speaking of collab things, I started doing a Pokemon podcast with Zombie JLT1 called the Pokemon Artcast, which is about
Nice.
that's bi-weekly. I'm referred to as Josh Shadow. He's Zommew on that one. It's fun. I think we're supposed to do the 4th episode pretty soon here, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. So I think I gotta look at my calendar. The only thing I remembered is because of all things, I woke up late today. I look at my phone, it's like, you have this to do today. And on there was this cast. I'm like, okay. And then my family was all, you remember you have that thing to do later tonight, right? I'm like, oh yeah, totally. I totally remember that. No, I didn't. I was still in that zombie mode of, I just got up. I did your physical zombie mode. Make sure all your limbs are there that you went to bed with. I'm making my breakfast. Last thing I'm gonna remember before anything else is I went to the bathroom. I'm eating. I have not checked messages or any kind of social media because I'm old school like that. And I haven't even decided yet if I'm willing to start the day. So no, I did not. Mind you, apparently me chewing food was taken as a nod. Yes, I remember. It was like, it was one of those give me moments. You're like, you know what? I woke up late. There's shit going on. I'm just gonna take the W on this one. Do I wish it would have been like a W of, hey, we're giving you $1 million. All you gotta do is nod your head. I would have been like, yes. I'm fully awake. Totally remember all that. Hopefully there wasn't any kind of weird movie version of the Hangover events that happened. But I can roll with it. Now there's something fun. How many people are into anime? I already know Dizzy. I would say movies, but I already know Dizzy's a big movie buff.
Movies, not too much anime though. My wife likes the anime more than I do.
Yeah, no anime here. I'm more of a movie guy.
Ah.
I watch a little bit, but again, back to my age, I watch older anime, not really newer stuff.
Again, Josh, that's why we need somebody like with your expertise on anime to come onto the podcast because I mean, there's at least 4 or 5 other people that know what they're talking about when it comes to anime, so you'll be
okay. I was about to say I could throw a very quick bone out to somebody else if you want to have another guest that isn't just me that I know, but I think you actually did a spot with them. So.
Oh well, then he might already be on the podcast then.
Who suggested that, Chris? The anime
Dad Level podcast. He suggested to do the anime one.
I know J Chip's into it.
Yeah, J Chip will be on it. He already confirmed with me. He'll be on that.
Zombie JLT1's a bit of an anime fan and a movie fan, and a video gamer.
Oh yeah, I know Zombie. Zombie's already been on here.
Also, the anime one might be that second casting call event.
Zombie actually came up with a lot of ideas. I just haven't been able to get in contact with him to get his ideas out in the topic form. So it will happen someday though. He's just a hard man to get in touch with. He's got his own stuff to do,
So that's his polite way of saying getting hold of supernatural gamers and getting them locked down is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you don't have the right bait or the right trap, you may be waiting
forever.
Or until apparently they just happen to pass through and you're like, hey,
finally,
you, me, now. And then check every few days. You're still good, right? Yeah, I'm still good. No, nobody's dying that's forcing me to be a good human being. I promise.
It will happen. Believe me, it will happen. We'll just sooner or later. See, just like yours. This intro podcast finally happened. Any other questions, Josh?
Let's see. Honestly, no, I can't think. I'm drawing a blank. I would say yes, but that'd be a lie.
That's totally fine.
Oh, okay, I got one. Was I entertaining enough for you? Was I what you expected?
Sure, Josh. You're awesome.
I like that sarcastic. Sure. Now I'm gonna make you insecure because you did it to the rest of us.
No. It's all good.
But I'm waiting for the other people's responses because I kind of cut them off.
You surpassed the entertaining that we thought you would be. Surpassed.
Oh. Well, I do know time zone wise. Let's see. Yeah, I am at least for some of you, 3 hours behind you.
All of us.
All of you. So I was right when I made an asinine assumption of my own that I'm 3 hours behind, so I'm going to be all full of energy. And they're going to be like, this motherfucker won't leave. He's going to be that drunk chick at the party that can't get a clue.
No. I would never do that to somebody. I don't cut people off. I usually let you. This is your intro podcast. Whatever you want to say, have at it.
Now, let's see. Don't worry about numbers. Don't worry about speedrunning. Don't worry about NDRs. Don't worry about playing what other people think. Play what you want to do, what you want to share, and what you like. That is my greatest advice I can give any streamer, VTuber, content creator ever. Because then you don't have to worry about the accusations of clout chasing, getting buried with everybody that's doing the same thing.
There you go. Good advice. That's the way we should end it. Last segment. Game of the month. Bones.
Iron Man for the PS4 VR.
Dan.
Yeah, I said already. Ghostwire Tokyo for the PS5, brand new game. Check it out.
Dizzy.
Enter the Matrix for PS2. I just streamed it, and it was my funnest stream ever. Check it out.
Josh.
I have nothing prepared for this.
What was your last pickup?
Once again, nothing prepared for this.
What's the game you're playing now?
Well, let's see. If I was talking about what literally is in my hand right now, as I've been messing around with as I've been talking to you guys, I'd have to say Fate Grand Order mobile game on a cell phone / tablet.
There you go. Perfect.
And that's only because another VTuber I manage was like, you should check this game out. I'm like, okay, fine. I guess after months of harassment, we'll play it.
And I will give deserved love, since everybody hates it, the Twisted Metal Small Brawl.
Oh. Full circle.
Oh,
Wait. So does that mean you're going to have one where you're going to be comparing RC car-like video games to each other?
I mean, I'll have a podcast about anything, really.
My contribution, as great a gift as it was to be like, nope, gotta get that last word about that in. God, I feel like an ass. Even I feel like an ass.
All right. Anyway, I want to thank you, Josh, for coming on. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Hopefully, you could do some topic podcasts, including the anime one. I'll let you know when we eventually get around to doing that. Please check out Josh, his YouTube channel, and as always, don't blow, just leave. Later, guys.
Leave it.
See ya.
Have a good night.
Peace.
Diabolical laughter. Diabolical laughter.
Maniacal laugh.
That's it.
All right, Bones.
1 2 1 2.
Dan.
Mic check 1 2.
Dizzy.
Hey, can you hear my fan in the background?
Actually, no,
No.
but you sound kind of distant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
way close to it.
What type of mic are you using?
I'm using the Snowball.
Snowball? Do you have filter
It's the same
set?
one I'm usually using.
Do you have any filters set up? Oh,
No.
ah.
All right, Josh. I guess I got you talking.
Hold on. Let me do this right, because I had a thought of what I was going to say. Mic check. Syphilis. 1 2. Hey. So what they used to do back in the day when I was young, when I was a little ghost, and you went to shows, they actually said that on the mic.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Is my mic better now?
There you go.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All
Yeah,
right.
you're back.
Disconnected and connected it back.
Yeah, sometimes that happens with the snowball mics.